Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, marks and smarks alike, we proudly welcome you to the internet's only wrestling podcast. That's right, we are the only one. We want to welcome you to Pin the Champ!
Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Pin the Champ. It is finally time. It's WrestleMania time, guys.
Whoa.
2 nights, right?
WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. We're not talking about WrestleMania from 2021, though. We're talking about its WrestleMania time way back in 1993.
What were you old fucks doing in 93?
I was 13, so nothing. I locked myself in the bathroom a lot.
Sweet. So today we're going to be reviewing WrestleMania 9. But before that, I want to just give a quick reminder that we're available to listen to on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon Music, Pandora, Podbean, and YouTube. So, guys, since this is going to be a WrestleMania 9 focus show today, we're not going to do too much of what's been going on in the news, but we definitely would be remiss not to at least go over a couple of obvious things that we should touch on. First of all, being, of course, biggest thing that's happened in wrestling for a long while, the return of CM Punk. How you guys feel about that?
Excited, super excited. What a great return too. The crowd really before the show even started, before he walked out, it was just going crazy. It was an insane crowd. The live crowd made that moment even more special, I bet.
Honestly, if like, I'm glad. I hope it was all safe and everything, but I'm really, really glad that had a live crowd because like, could you have imagined that without a live crowd? It would have not been the same.
It would have been the same. No.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
and I'm not a huge, like, Punk was a few years after I stopped wrestling and before I started watching again. I said wrestling, but I meant watching. So I don't have that, like the same connection, but at the same time, right, like, anybody can recognize, somebody who is so important to the sport and the effect, like that one guy who was, just kind of tearing up and crying a little bit.
Mm-hmm. They got a lot of attention from the internet community and a lot of attention from wrestlers themselves being like, that guy gets it. He's the reason why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they got him tickets to both AEW shows and TNA shows.
Yeah,
because of that.
About that. Yeah, that's
really nice. That's
because
awesome.
people were giving him shit, and it's just like, oh, you're crying over. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you cry at whatever entertainment you watch? Like,
exactly.
I'm sorry. Like, do you not go to a play and see something so well done and so
that you're inspired, right?
Right. It's the same thing. It's theater. It's the same thing. You can, people watch a sad movie, they cry. And
exactly. When people are like, oh man, when Game of Thrones ended, I teared up. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that show was trash.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was a really really good weekend for pro wrestling. I mean, you just kind of look at the news and you saw that wrestling was in like the mainstream media. They were talking a lot about it. So trending. I mean, yeah, it was trending a lot. It got everybody talking. Most everybody felt really positively about it. I heard that like around the internet that like Jim Cornette was very into it. He even liked it, and he's one of those people that's going to tell you straight.
I was going to say Cornette was. I listened to Cornette, and he even said, like, he was like, oh, Punk will work the marks. He will, like, he could make this one of the best things in the world. And I would love, I mean, again, like, I know he's a very controversial figure, but I would love to see him come out and, like, manage somebody that worked in AEW. I would love to see that.
Right.
Yeah, it was definitely a triumphant return. I appreciate the announcer not talking over that segment too. They really gave Punk, a chance to just take it all in from the crowd. It was very minimal talking from the three announcers.
Gotcha.
During that segment.
Kind of gave him the stick, and just let him kind of talk through it. And then I definitely read some of the other side of the coin. I don't know if you guys heard about like what Booker T was talking about, how he kind of criticized Punk for saying like he messed up by talking about the competition. He's like, if I had, that crowd in the palm of my hands, the last thing I would want to do is talk about WWE. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at that other side of the coin or whatever the case.
Yeah, I read that.
Didn't Booker T like trash WWE when he was in TNA?
Potentially, I don't know that, but
so that's bullshit. Like it's show shit. Like miss me with that show shit.
He's towing the company line right now, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say like he's as bad as Bruce Pritchard at this point. Like.
So how do you feel about, the direction of like his first match? Are you guys excited for All Out, like Darby versus Punk?
They couldn't have given him a better first opponent for a comeback, man, because I love Darby Allin. That guy is a high flyer, risk taker. He's going to go like,
who's going to be the heel, though?
Speed. I don't think there's going to be a heel there, really, I mean, I could be totally wrong about that, but I just think people are going to be super into the match. I think that people are going to be like just out of their minds.
Yeah, it's just the perfect first opponent. I think they're gonna tear the house down.
I'm excited to see All Out. We'll at least be talking about it for sure, but damn.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that is gonna be a really cool pay-per-view to watch, just for, if nothing else, the crowd. And then the fact that another thing, you gotta at least touch on it, because even CM Punk kind of dropped hints about the fact that Bryan Danielson's going to be probably on the way. You're not going to.
You have to be patient, though.
Just the same exact way that they raised the whole like worst kept secret in the world that CM Punk was going to debut on that Rampage. You're not going to start talking about Bryan Danielson so thoroughly. Unless you're going to deliver. You're not going to start talking about. So we know that hopefully Bryan Danielson is on his way. I read a report somewhere. I can't remember where.
Is that his real name? Bryan Danielson?
I think so.
Because if not, he should go by Daniel Bryanson.
Daniel Bryan. I know he was the American Dragon in Ring of Honor for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he was Jake Long, the American Dragon in Ring of Honor.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's his real name. Let's see.
Bro. Yeah, the American Dragon, Jake Long.
That's his real name, Jake Long?
No way.
Just Google American Dragon, Jake Long.
No, he's Brian Lloyd Danielson.
Yeah.
Who's the American Dragon, Jake Long?
I don't know. Jake
Maybe
Long
he's like a different American Dragon. Did Bryan Danielson pass his moniker to anybody potentially?
No, I think he beat that guy for the name.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Just making up my own storyline now.
Song. Well, that's why you should work for WWE, man.
People believe anything, right? So we're on the internet. They'll believe us.
Yeah, I think that Darby Allin match is going to be
fire,
really electric. Yeah, exactly. And then, like I said, the potential for that debut of Daniel Bryan, or however he's going to end up being called. I'm just
American
excited.
Dragon Jake Long.
Yeah, it's going to be.
You really want to see Jake Long now, don't you?
It's a cartoon show from the late 2000s.
Anything else to touch on with the CM Punk situation, or anything else you guys want to add to that? Or
I've noticed, I haven't noticed, but people on the internet pointed out like he had AC written on his shoes for Adam Cole.
Oh,
and then we also have BW one time written on his shoe, Bray Wyatt.
On Punk shoes?
Yeah, Punk. They think he's subtly dropping hints of who's coming with those initials.
I did not know that. Is that a fact, though? Did he actually have that on his shoes? Or is this another thing you're making up?
No, this one was true. It was
That's
written
crazy.
with a Sharpie. Yeah, so he's subtly dropping hints.
Oh, he does do the Sharpie thing with his
X's.
Yeah, his X's on his deal.
Yeah, I gotta say, I like his new T-shirt too. I might get me one of those.
I think I've heard
They're
several
sold out though.
My wrestling pals saying that they want to get that shirt. That is
I saw people selling the ice cream bars that they had for like $200.
Really?
Did you see that guy that was in the crowd during one of the AEW shows, and he had like a poster, and it said like, I came to Chicago and all I got was this lousy ice cream bar, and he'd like tape the ice cream bar to the poster or something. It was pretty cool. Anyway, man, yeah, really excited about what's to come with AEW and just CM Punk situation. I'm happy to see him, stirring up the pot again. Aside from that, I said we weren't going to go too down the news rabbit hole, but we at least got to touch on SummerSlam. SummerSlam, kind of felt like it got overshadowed a bit by everything going on in AEW. Do you guys feel that way at all, or?
I think
they knew they were overshadowed too, hence all the return that one night.
Right. So SummerSlam happened same weekend, which I mean, all in all, it was a really fun weekend for us as wrestling fans. I mean, just to SummerSlam for kind of different reasons, to kind of see how funny it was the way that they responded to what happened with Punk. I mean, there's all the chatter. What was already planned versus what was not planned already. But let's just kind of run down, the happenings of SummerSlam, and you can speak on them real quick if you want to. So both the WWE and Universal champs retained, right? Roman Reigns retained against John Cena, and Brock Lesnar returns.
Boo.
Wait, is Brock coming back as a face? If he's gonna face Roman now, or
no? He's got hair, so he's a heel.
No, he got a little. He has like what Jeremiah is doing with his hair.
Yeah, I've had several people say that already. That I've got a
Brock Lesnar's like a Viking now. He's like,
oh yeah.
You know what? If he grew a beard and then like had his hair like that and just looked like that, I think he would look so much cooler and menacing.
I want to see his hair down. I want to see it down and see what he looks like with like long hair.
They're gonna lead this program is going to be finished with a Heyman on a pole match, I'm sure.
Dude, that's what was my next question. What's up with that? Like, what's going on with that? I mean, I got to see a little bit of this Friday's SmackDown, and of course, Paul Heyman's kind of playing the whole like. I don't know if you guys, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but of course they're teasing that tension. I'll just put it that way. Mm-hmm. And so where's that going? Who's Heyman really with? Or is he just going to show up on AEW next to Punk?
Guys, we know that Paul Heyman's in for one person, and that's Paul Heyman.
That's right. And that's
why
owe
Jericho paychecks from ECW.
That's why he's going to show up for AEW. He's really going to end up with Punk again.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Well, Punk is a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Where his bread is butter. Paul Heyman's going to leave the WWE.
God, the Paul Heyman guy promo was such a great fucking promo.
Which Paul Heyman guy promo?
The CM Punk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Such a great promo.
Yeah, people are still watching that promo to this day. It still comes up on my YouTube all the time, like suggested viewing. I already watched this. So watch it again.
I'm sure it got watched a lot over this last couple weeks too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
the needle.
So first of all, let's not overlook that this was John Cena's return match. This was his possible 17th title win.
Got a movie to show.
Yeah. He said he was
got a movie to show.
Yep. He said he was going to take the title off to Hollywood, but we knew that was BS. We all said that Reigns winning was the right thing to do, right? So we're glad that he retained. We get like you said, Brock Lesnar back. As far as what's going on with Paul Heyman, who knows? I'm thinking that he sticks with the tribal chief this time. I'm thinking that we get a kind of a face Brock Lesnar here.
He's too menacing to be a face.
Well, I don't know. They're gonna try.
His face run. He had a couple of face run in the WWE, and it wasn't. I wouldn't call it successful. Like at one point, he was feuding with Kurt Angle, where he was a face, and I'm pretty sure everybody was rooting for Angle. So,
or is that going to be the only way that Roman Reigns gets beaten and he turns into a face?
Roman?
Yeah. Like Heyman turns on Roman to go back to Lesnar, creating face Roman.
They did that with Punk. Remember, they had they had Heyman turn on Punk when Lesnar came back. So.
Didn't Heyman also turn on Lesnar to go to Big Show at one point?
No, I don't remember that.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
I don't remember that.
It happened.
You said you do not think it happened, or you do think?
No, I do think it happened.
Yeah, I think for a minute there, Heyman was with the Big Show.
Yeah, but Big Show changes from face to heel like in 2 shows.
I wonder if that's going to keep on happening now that he's in AEW, or are they going to let him stay?
It probably will.
That's just his thing.
That's just
yeah. It totally happened. Song it did. I'm looking at some videos as Paul Heyman and Big Show challenge Brock Lesnar for Royal Rumble. So I know I recalled seeing that happen at one point, and I had no idea that it happened either. It was one of those things that I went back and realized happened by watching like the WWE Network.
Oh, I gotcha.
So
cool.
Moving on, Bobby Lashley. He retained. He's the other world champion, of course.
Fuck Goldberg.
And this time, Goldberg comes out of this looking very weak, right? And this is something that I'm surprised that Goldberg was even willing to do. You know,
I looked at it as like, man, he wouldn't even like give Bobby a clean pin on him.
I fucking hate Goldberg.
That's true as well.
That's how I took it. And I think they're setting up for that big money, that they have that blood money show they do every year.
Oh, the Saudi Arabia show.
Yeah.
So what do you think that's going to be, like the rematch Goldberg and Lashley or something?
Yeah, rematch Goldberg and Lashley.
And then Goldberg's going to win. He's going to, because when he goes over there, he can even beat the Fiend.
Yeah. If they make Lashley drop it to Goldberg there, I mean, Raw is garbage right now for a show. Yeah.
So when I saw Lashley beat Goldberg, I thought ahead to the Survivor Series. I hope we get Lashley versus Reigns. You know how they've been doing like the whole champion versus champion for Survivor Series for a few years now. Yeah. I think this Lashley versus this Reigns will be a badass match. It'll be like a really, really hard hitting match. It'll be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, I think that it'll have to be some funny business to get to a finish, because I don't think they're going to want to make either of those characters look too weak.
Well, they're going to have, I'm sure, Heyman and the Uso and probably MVP get involved in the
cost Lashley the match,
something like that.
Like that. I mean, that's assuming Lashley would lose, but I don't know. I mean, I think they right now WWE values that Universal title and Roman Reigns above all else. I
think a lot of that has to do with Fox. Their deal with Fox.
Did you hear? Speaking of which, that brings me back to. Did you hear like that? The reports online that USA is really pissed off because of how stacked SmackDown is now that now that Brock Lesnar, Becky Lynch, Roman Reigns, like everybody is on SmackDown right now, and so they're really upset about it. So I wonder how they're going to address that. I guess we'll see this Monday, right? Additionally, Edge.
Well, Kyle won't. He don't watch the current product.
Oh, that's right. We'll have to fill you in, Kyle.
I've been watching a little bit of AEW because that's
AEW is just fire right now, dude. It's really good.
Although now that Becky's back, I might start watching some of the women's matches. I love Becky Lynch. I think she is just amazing. But
I'm glad she's back as well. So Edge taps out Rollins.
He came out with his Brood theme.
That was cool.
Show. Yeah. But did you hear AEW was gonna have Gangrel in for an episode of Dynamite, and then they were gonna give him a similar entrance to that?
Oh no, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, and then because Edge did it at SummerSlam, they're like, "Oh, it's sorry, people already seen it," so they told him they can't bring him in.
Oh wow, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, I mean, it was a. I think
that's kind of shitty to Gangrel. I feel bad for him.
It is.
Well, maybe they should
talk about it on his podcast.
Maybe they should still find something for him. You know, have him come in there with Christian.
Is it called Fang and Bang?
I think it's called Fang and Bang.
That's hilarious.
Fantastic. Love it.
Don't quote me on that. Let me die. That's what I would call it if I was.
Funny.
My only Fang.
So, guys, is the Nikki ASH experiment over since Charlotte regained the Raw Women's title?
We knew she was going to get that title back. She needs to win 17 of them.
Jeez, man, they really. I don't know where they go.
Charlotte wins at pay-per-views. Right. That's what happens.
Yeah, and Charlotte's looks good with the title, but I just kind of worry now. Like, where does Nikki Cross go? Does she go? I'm sorry, Nikki ASH. Almost a superhero.
Well, she. I think they're trying to make her a tag team with Rhea Ripley. Because the following night on Raw, they were tag teaming.
I absolutely hate when they just Mod Podge throw people together like it's. I hate that stuff, man. Like I'm not into it. Like,
speaking of RK Bro.
Yeah. Yes.
I like RK Bro.
RK Bro is an exception to the rule because they've done a lot with it. But they did, speaking of RK Bro, win the Raw tag titles at SummerSlam. So that was a good moment for them. At any given time, you don't know whether they're going to, win the tag titles or whether Randy Orton is just going to like hit him with RKO.
RKO. Mm-hmm. You know what? Like, I hope it's obvious that Orton's probably going to turn on Riddle, but I would love it if they just turn that around and have Riddle turn on Orton instead. That would be so cool.
That would be very unexpected.
Unexpected. Right?
I still say they're not going to do that because I have a feeling Riddle is going to be huge. Like, I think Vince, he's going to be huge. I think if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to be a pretty big deal one day.
Yeah.
At any rate, Charlotte regains the Raw Women's title in the triple threat against Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley. What's this? Her like 11th or 12th win, right? So I think 12.
She's going for 17, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Bianca Belair. Let's go ahead and get to the controversial match at SummerSlam. Bianca Belair loses her SmackDown Women's title to a returning Becky Lynch. You just said a moment ago, Kyle, you absolutely love Becky Lynch. But how did you guys feel about how all this went down?
I didn't like it. I mean, I'm glad Becky's back, but they should have like built up to this match, not just have her squash Bianca in 30 seconds. They freaking they did Bianca dirty there.
Yeah, didn't one of the Bellas complain?
I didn't hear anything about that, but it wouldn't surprise me. The whole way it went down with Sasha Banks, them announcing she wouldn't be able to make it there. And then, of course,
which they didn't explain why either.
Right. We still really don't know, right?
I assume COVID.
Right. That's what I've seen reports on as well. Mella comes out and she's going to replace Banks. But then, of course, before much of anything happens, we get Becky Lynch's music, which is freaking awesome. The place comes unglued. I think we're definitely all fans of Becky Lynch, but I feel like that Becky Lynch is definitely getting some of the backlash now for, all this going down. I mean, I know
this kind of goes, the way she won this title kind of go against the way her character was built. She was at one point the person that wasn't getting the opportunity, that had to scratch and claw. And then here she comes just like, I'm in the title picture. Yeah. So it's kind of weird, but hey, she's back. Maybe this will lead to a good program with Bianca Belair. Maybe that's just a bad start to going to be a good rivalry. We'll just wait and see.
I can't imagine the matches will be bad.
If they are allowed, if they're allowed to have a match, I mean, they're not going to let her win in 30 seconds all the time, are they?
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Vince is crazy.
Yeah.
He might make Becky Brock Lesnar.
Well, they both are BLs. Brock Lesnar and Becky Lynch returned. So having said that, I mean, now that we've kind of mentioned both things, both of the returns, Brock Lesnar's and Becky Lynch's returns, which ones of these were already pre-planned? Were any of them pre-planned before the CM Punk thing? In y'all's minds, where does it fall there? Like, if one of these was added last minute, which one was it?
This is what I think. Brock might have been planned to come in all along, but I think Vince saw the Friday Night Rampage, which he'll never admit to, and he saw that what the reaction from Punk and just the media outlet, social media just exploded with AEW publicity. So I think they brought Becky back. Becky's probably not in, and I'm sure she's working out, but I don't think she's probably in any shape ready for
for
to go
a 15 to 20 minute match or something.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, so they put her back, and that's why that match was so short.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, Song. That's really smart.
That's very smart.
Because maybe that's exactly why that happened, is because they knew, like, okay, well, she's ring rust. She's, still how, I mean, I don't know how I don't know the timeline on how long ago they had their child, but I don't know if they're still like, she's still getting back into ring shape from that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if she's taking care of her kid, she might not be in ring shape yet, is what I'm saying. So
yeah, I think that was rushed. I think that was definitely rushed in there to kind of get some publicity back on their side.
I absolutely think I agree with you now that you say it that way, Song, because the Brock Lesnar thing seems like something that would have been like the next logical step, because who else would it be?
Right.
Like, who else would be stepping up to Roman at this point? Because I mean, if Edge recently did, so you got to move on to something that's kind of,
Yeah, I think right now they're at the point where they have to bring in part-timers to fight Roman. He's just too damn good.
Right. Yep.
It's incredible, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. I agree. I think, Song, you made some really valid talking points.
You nailed it on the head. And lastly, Damien Priest won his first U.S. title off of Sheamus at SummerSlam. So congratulations to Damien Priest on that. As we see, if you've watched Monday Night Raw since then, they've already kind of thrust Damien Priest towards the main event scene. So it's already like, helping his career out and everything. So that's good to see too.
I like Priest. He's entertaining.
All right, guys. Well, it's about going to be that time to get to WrestleMania 9. But before that, we always like to raise a glass. My glass happens to be empty right now, and it was water anyway. I'm not drinking today. What have you fixed for yourself today there, Kyle?
So this is some Code Red Mountain Dew that I had left over, and tequila.
Wow, what a mix!
How's that? Strange combination. How is it?
Not very good.
Nice.
Right.
I think you were.
It tastes like cough syrup.
You were sipping on sweet tea earlier, weren't you, man?
Unsweet tea. Yeah, I don't do sugar.
Yeah, because Villainous Song only does unsweet tea. By the
normal
way,
normal song drinks regular sweet tea.
But if I know you can't see Song right now, but before the actual recording came on the air, we were talking about. Actually, Kyle was talking about how we are operating and recording today with Evil Song. He's got the goatee growing in as we speak, disheveled hair and all. So
ready to take over the world from my mom's basement.
Exactly. So, guys, today we're toasting. We're raising these glasses to the return of CM Punk and all of the buzz that it's creating around wrestling. It's definitely an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, and it can only do good things. Competition breeds excellence, right? So hopefully this kicks WWE back into high gear and we get some good shit. And I was telling Song earlier that Monday Night Dynamite does have a nice ring to it.
It does, but I think that'll stay Wednesday for a while. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. All right, guys. So it's that time. Let's put on our togas and talk about WrestleMania 9. According to Wikipedia, This took place at Caesar's Palace in Paradise, Nevada. It was the first ever outdoor WrestleMania, which I'll just mention.
It's right by the highway, though. If you look at it, it looks like when they do the overhead shot.
Okay.
It looks like it's like right near an off ramp.
Wow. So probably a lot of like leftover noise. But one thing that I noticed about it is that I don't think I remembered from watching it when I was a kid was the whole thing was during the daytime. Like even like the main event was during the daytime, and that kind of gave it a weird ambience. Like outdoor manias have a strange ambience, but an outdoor mania that is completely during the day. Like I love that. I love that nighttime with lights and craziness going on.
Nighttime, it feels like a carnival. At daytime, it feels like a sporting event. You're at a used car lot.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it.
I thought they actually did pretty good with the design of the arena, though. It looked
cool.
I mean the Vestal Virgins.
Mm-hmm. The whole world's largest. The tagline
pure of mind and pure of spirit.
That's correct.
That was pure of body.
Body, excuse me. Your body. And all the fucking Cleopatra and Caesar and the elephant, and that all looked sweet. They beat that elephant to do that, right? An animal cruelty.
I mean, we don't know that. That elephant could have been a king.
I'm pretty sure they're like circus elephant. They get treated harshly.
They beat the elephant with the vulture. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that vulture was tough too.
Yeah, no, man. So the tagline of this WrestleMania was the world's largest toga party. And as we saw, pretty much everybody was wearing a toga. It would have been crazy if all the wrestlers had to wear togas too. They should have had to do it too. But so for me, guys, this Mania falls pretty high up on the list of my most watched Manias, because I know I saw it several times as a kid, like on Coliseum Home Video or whatever it was on. Mm-hmm. And then I have watched it a couple of times since having the WWE Network, which is hilarious because it's most famously known as one of the worst WrestleManias ever. If you like look online,
but it's also iconic.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what
I'll be honest with you guys. It was hard for me to get through this one.
I remember you saying that.
I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, it's either you hate it or love it. For me, it was nostalgic. I'll talk about that more as we sum up the episode and everything. We'll kind of give our overview of how we felt about it. But it was for me, like noticing it, I was like, man, I know this WrestleMania pretty well, like compared to some of them. So it took place on April 4th, 1993. The first voice that you hear is Gorilla Monsoon welcoming us to Mania 9, which I always love hearing Gorilla Monsoon's voice. I know it's going to be a good pay-per-view because it means that probably Bobby Heenan's there too. It's like the same right time frame.
Yeah.
He introduces the debuting Jim Ross. This is Jim Ross's first appearance with the company, who's in a toga with some Centurions behind him. He then kicks it over to the Fink, who for the day is dubbed Finkus Maximus. He introduces Caesar and Cleopatra, who ride out on that elephant you were talking about earlier. One thing that I want to point out, it was real fun hearing JR commentate about like all the over the top shit that happened on this WrestleMania, because I bet he never ever had to say anything like pachyderm in WCW. You know what I'm saying? Like down south,
right?
They're like, they don't do this shit.
I was gonna say it's great. I like the first part of this. So far, so good. Thumbs up from the professor.
Exactly.
Loving the I mean, Jim Ross looked awesome in that toga.
The ambiance, yeah.
His microphone that looked like a like a baton that you would see in like the Olympics and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, you could tell he's totally out of his element. Thinking like, we don't do this kind of shit down in Atlanta.
Right.
Then Macho Man was introduced, right? His wardrobe was super sweet, all purple and gold. Bobby Heenan, the Brain, is out next, which is, he comes out right after an ostrich and a vulture on a camel, but he comes in backwards, of course. And
backwards.
Bobby,
also, Macho Man's coat had such incredible detail.
Oh, it was great.
He looked insanely good. Like the purple and gold while being fed grapes. Oh,
yes, by the Vestal Virgins, right?
Yes.
So Bobby Heenan, he's pure gold as always. His golden cape was amazing. He's totally winded by the time he even starts talking. He's turned up to level 10 because it's Bobby Heenan at WrestleMania. And I'll just go ahead and say it because anytime we talk about Bobby, nobody's better than Bobby Heenan.
No.
I could not believe when Macho Man lifted Heenan's kilt and dude had his blue Fruit of the Looms on. It was so funny. Dude, I mean,
so good.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the whole beginning of that Mania to me was hilarious.
10 out of 10. Like, so far, so good. Let's see how this goes.
So we go to our opening contest, right? It's Tatanka versus Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental title. First and foremost, I just want to ask, why is Shawn Michaels wearing Damien Priest ring gear?
Oh man, Shawn Michaels was so great. All the like crosses. It's like it's like a chest chaps almost.
Yeah,
and he's
exactly.
wearing chaps as well.
And
he's
go ahead. No, sorry.
I like and Luna Vachon,
Yep.
Luna Vachon is such an amazing performer because in reality, good looking woman, but she made herself look just horrible.
Yes.
Like she could punch up her face and everything.
Yeah.
Like when she's not doing that, she's like a normal.
Like her walk is kind of like,
Yeah, like she's got issues walking.
Yeah.
She walks like a zombie.
Great performer.
Yeah, dude. I would say you were talking about Shawn Michaels, chaps and how his accessories looked. And I was about to say, like, Luna Vachon was probably the best accessory he came out with because she looked so crazy. I looked up some stuff about Luna because, it'll probably be few and far between when we are, mentioning her. I don't know if she's on some of these subsequent Raws or not. Maybe we will get into her more. But I did not know that Luna's real name is Gertrude Elizabeth Vachon, which is that's so fitting to me. Like even her name
Gertrude.
is like Gertrude. You know what I mean? It's like one of those names that's like, oh, it like hits you in the gut kind of.
Yeah.
I did not know she's also from Atlanta, Georgia. So she's, I'm a fan because she's from where I'm from. Total character, right? Then I know that when Kyle was watching this, he sat at the edge of his chair because his girl, Sensational Sherry, came out next.
I was about to say that Sherry Martel is in this, and she looks, of course, incredible. She works incredible. She is the fucking best. More people
too.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah. Sherry Martel does not get enough credit. Just looked very nice. I mean, first of all, this is wrestling. Everybody looks nice, but
yeah, I knew you were going to be excited, buddy, and I hear your excitement right now. Your screen is, just so everybody knows right now, I'm having some technical difficulties, so I can hear everything the guys are saying, but their screen from time to time is frozen. So right now, Kyle's
internet, man.
I know, dude. I really need to switch, but right now, Kyle is frozen on a very one face, but I can still read the excitement. So as far as the match goes, Michaels always makes folks look like $1 million, right?
Yeah, he does the over the turnbuckle thing. Yeah, he flops around.
He
made Tatanka look like a fucking champion.
Right.
Like if this was your only Tatanka match, you would be like, oh wow,
you think this is a man, right?
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, he must be the guy that is like the most famous person in
the company.
The company, because Shawn just sells for him so well.
Right. And so Tatanka, I don't know how you guys feel about it. Speaking of that, is a character that I'm definitely not into at all, really, as an adult. And I can't remember if I even really liked him as a kid. I do know that he was super popular during that time with a lot of people, but I wasn't personally like a Cowboys and Indians type of kid, though. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Go ahead, Song.
As a kid, I liked Tatanka. I bought into the whole streak and stuff. So yeah, I enjoy watching him. This match was probably one of the better match on this show. I thought, probably just because of Shawn, but a little overbooked. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, so yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, Song, because that is an important thing to mention to people who may not have been watching at that time or may not be as familiar with Tatanka. Is he's one of those cats that they put like a super hot streak on, similarly to Mr. Perfect's. Like,
yeah, it was long, like a 300 some.
Yeah,
long ass streak
where he just didn't lose for a long time. So that is an important thing to bring up. And so, you know,
I mean, even though they didn't let him win the title here, they still protect his streak.
Exactly. The match was good, though. It saw Tatanka almost win the IC title when he covered Shawn for the 3 count. But alas, Michaels had just put his hands on the ref previous to that moment. And the ref opted, instead of pinning the 3, to just DQ Michaels, right? So
I hate matches like that. Because it makes the ref look like a stupid
complete
fucking
moron,
nitwit.
right? Which is a theme of this Mania. Referees getting knocked over, just completely taking spells, missing calls. Like they got like a couple of the like foot on the rope calls right, but then they got some wrong too. So it was like a theme going on through this Mania, was completely inept ref.
There was like so many point where the referee, like they had extra referee coming out in some of the matches,
snitch ass refs. Yeah. So yeah, after the match, Luna attacks Sherry pretty viciously, body slams her, kicks her after the match, and actually Tatanka comes to Sherry's aid to kind of close out that segment, right?
Took him long enough. He was still like standing on the turnbuckle and watching her get beat.
He's like, all right, I'll go over there. So next we go to Mean Gene, and he's in the back, and he introduces the Steiner brothers. Of course, this is pre Big Bad Booty Daddy Scott Steiner. Steiners were a great team back in the day. They weren't the greatest in the WWE. The WWF version of them, I guess, wasn't like the best, but the Steiners were still a great team. And this leads, of course, to their match, Steiner Brothers versus the Headshrinkers with Alpha. I thought this was a good tag team match. The Headshrinkers kind of, let me know if you agree, we were kind of the Usos of the 90s.
Oh, absolutely.
And I guess similarly,
go
ahead.
You know, just both teams know what they're doing as a tag team. It's nice to watch real tag team do tag team wrestling, you know?
Yeah.
I know we bitch all the time about single competitor put together just to form a team, but watching this tag match was fun. You get to see Scott Steiner play he took a lot of the beating in this match before the hot tag was finally made. So you get the comeback. It basically told a great tag team story.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's probably one of the highlight matches for the evening for me. I would say where the Headshrinkers were the Usos of the 90s, the Steiners were kind of like the Alpha Academy of the 90s, and or vice versa. They like definitely fed off of each other.
American Alpha.
Yeah, American
that's
Alpha.
What American Alpha was supposed to be.
Exactly. I was trying to remember the name of those guys earlier, and I couldn't remember it. Thank you for reminding me.
Gable and Jordan.
Yeah, and that's kind
Ready,
of who they were.
and Gable, baby.
And that's kind of who they were more like. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I agree with
I
you.
love the Steiners singlets, by the way.
Oh, always. I wish you had used the raisin singlet again that we talked about in a previous episode.
Oh, I love that one.
So some highlights of the action on this match. I love the spill that Scott Steiner took to the outside. Did you see that? I think he was supposed to drop him onto the rope, but he just overcalculated. Like Scott.
Well, didn't Samu pull down the rope? No.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
So I didn't catch that, but dude, like that
was a nasty spill.
It looked like he went head first. I wanted to see, like, I wish there had been a cameraman on the outside during that, because that shit looked crazy.
Yeah, I like Scott Steiner should have died when that happened. Like
pretty much.
Like it was a combination of them overshooting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually looking.
You want to look at that
right
moment
now.
again?
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
While you're looking that up, I also want to point out the chop that Scott Steiner took on the outside. I don't know if you guys remember that. I don't know if it was Fatu or Samu.
It doesn't look like they fucked up, guys. It looks like Samu goes to drop him backwards, and Fatu 100% pulls down the thing.
Oh, okay. Yes,
okay. So you were right, Saul.
It just is just a move, I guess.
It just looked like it. It looked nasty.
It looks like he should have never gotten back up.
Right. Well, a normal person probably wouldn't have gotten back up. These guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, because this guy's got the fucking neck of a tree. I mean, they both look huge. One thing I will talk about is like I love that like Samoan characters, or anytime somebody's like a savage type character, the headbutt doesn't work on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they had the harder heads. Yeah,
they have harder heads.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, they headbutt each other, so
that's right.
They built up a tolerance to it.
I'll tell you another spot that I liked in this match was when the Headshrinkers went for that top rope maneuver, but Rick Steiner like reversed that shit into a power slam.
That was what he's done that a few times.
That looks sweet.
I think the Steiners did that at like some WCW,
like a WCW thing.
This was the one where it was the War Games where the Dangerous Alliance went up against the Sting Squadron. I think it's like something 93. It's around the same time actually as this, and they were facing a Japanese tag team, and they went to do that, and he suplexed him.
Vince was probably like, I need you to do that spot.
Yeah. Hey, pal, I need you to. Yeah.
Exactly. So this match ends when Scott does finally hit Samu with the Frankensteiner, which was always a fantastic move. So yeah, agree. Awesome match. Great tag team psychology. And we get the guys from Michigan going over.
Guys, so far, so good. I'm going to say this fucking... one okay match and one good match,
and just a lot of fun.
Third one.
And so and I also want to point out that the commentary team pure gold throughout the whole night, in my opinion at least. Back to Mean Gene though with Doink the Clown. He's painted up Julius Caesar statue in his likeness. They go back to the clip of Doink attacking Crush. Mean Gene says Crush has vowed sweet Hawaii style revenge. I just kind of added the
Shaka, bro. Shaka.
I added the Hawaii style revenge part, but I thought it was appropriate.
Yeah, well, that's revenge with pineapple on it.
Doink does a little bit of foreshadowing by saying that Crush might see a little double vision later, right? So then we get the match. And I just want to point out that this is, the match is Crush versus Doink. And I just want to point out that I think that Doink might be one, even though he's a clown and I am not a fan of clowns, this clown might be one of my favorite characters of the 90s. I know I've said this before, but again, I just love his character.
This is still Matt Bourne playing him, right?
I think so. And
Matt Bourne, terrible shithead, really good performer.
Right. And to put this into context though, he's facing one of my least favorite characters of the 90s, Crush. Like
Crush?
Yeah, I did not really love him. I loved him as Demolition. I think I just really liked him as a Demolition Crush. And so, like, I was automatically sour on, like, Kona Crush.
I agree. I'm not a fan of Crush either.
Your silence is deafening, Kyle.
I like Crush.
I can't see your face.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I was like, can you hear me?
But the context is,
I'm doing the no worries hand sign.
The no worries
and saying Shaka Bra. I think that look, Kona Crush is exactly what he was always going to be. Like,
right.
He's Hawaiian, so he talks like a surfer.
Mm-hmm. He's got
great
shit, mullet.
But he's a terrible wrestler.
Great mullet.
And he uses the head squeeze as his, which I kind of like. I kind of like it because, like, has anybody ever done that to you? It hurts.
Nobody done that to me.
Let me put you in a head squeeze, and you'll be like, okay, I see it.
We have to put that on. We have to put that on the page.
I think we watched him crush a coconut one time, didn't we?
Yeah,
I think we did.
And a banana.
Yeah, and a banana. I was uncomfortable with that. But dude, if we do that, if you allow Kyle to put you in that maneuver, we have to record it so it can be posted to our page.
Yeah, if you do not believe that the head crush is a real submission move, then I will submit you with it.
Okay. Then I can put the crippler crossface on you.
I mean that is a legitimate. I'm not doubting the efficiency of the crippler crossface. I am saying that would hurt.
Yeah. No, it's only fair
you
though.
You were doubting the effectiveness of the head crush, the Kona crush, if you will.
So
it just looks so weak.
It looks terrible. It's like nothing to it. But yeah, Crush did catch Doink off the top rope like it was nothing, and Doink weighs 243 pounds, 5'10", so he's not a little dude. That was like a highlight of the match for me. Was him snatching him off of the top rope. This is another match that the ref goes down during the match, right?
Yep.
Doink goes under the ring. Crush drags him out, and Crush hits his finisher that we were just talking about. So he hits the finisher, but then alas, we get Doink number 2, right?
I love it.
Yeah, he's got the fake arm. They double team Crush and they hit him not once but twice with the cast. It looks pretty gnarly. And then Doink pins Crush. And my dude, he almost wins, but then this snitch ass referee comes out and he tries to tell on Doink.
So if Doink had won, plus, because Doink loses because of snitchery, loss.
Yep.
No, he won.
Does he still win? They didn't reverse it?
They didn't reverse it because they couldn't find the second clown underneath the ring, remember?
Then there we go.
Right.
Yeah, they were looking underneath the ring to find that second clown, but he wasn't there anymore.
They did look under the ring, and dude, it's a mess under there.
All I gotta say is Doink number 1, Yokozuna number 1.
Yeah. I gotta tell you though, Crush, he was in the ring after this and he looked a lot like his namesake, Crush.
He looked crushed.
It's a damn so as far as
still
like
real to him, it's
still real to him. So as far as this match goes, I mean, not like the barn burner or anything like that, but psychology wise, really good match. Like I
didn't hate it.
I loved it when Doink did the mirror image thing.
Yeah, the Harpo Marx type thing. I love that.
I'm totally into it.
Don't hate it. I know songs like looking at us like we're just like grown 3 eyes, but I do not hate it.
And dude, he's just one of those dudes. Like even when he was walking back to the back, the faces he was making, he was just so into his character that I was too. And that's what did it for me. I love seeing Doink. After that, we get to Todd Piningale, and he's interviewing 2 Asian photographers. I don't know if these were actors or real photographers at this point. What do you think?
No, they were actors. This was they're doing a comedy thing. I mean, they're speaking in like pidgin English and like
right. It was terrible, right?
Well, they're trying to do a comedy bit.
Right. It was
funny.
It wasn't funny. So moving right along, we get to Bob Backlund versus Razor Ramon. It's hard to think, though, that this is Backlund's first WrestleMania at 43 years old. And he's already had like a years-long title reign, but yet this Mania 9 is his very first Mania.
He just came back not long ago, right, at this point.
Yeah, he's about to give everybody a little bit of sports education, baby.
That's exactly right. Backlund tries to shake Razor's hand at the beginning of the match, but he gets a toothpick to the face for his efforts. During the match, Macho Man announces that Lex Luger has attacked Bret Hart earlier at a Mania bruncheon with the bionic elbow. So it kind of drops that little bit of information in. And I guess this is kind of a way to plant the seeds of something, being wrong with Bret Hart to kind of protect his loss that's going to come later in the night.
I did like Bob Backlund's jacket, though. That was kind of cool.
Oh, the USA jacket?
Yeah, I would wear that.
Yeah, definitely so. I wonder if it's going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Oh, that would be sick.
Yeah, dude. We're going to do a quest if they ever make a physical Hall of Fame, we have to do a road trip to that.
Razor's tights, by the way, loved. Black and gold with the little razors on the back and on the knee pads, and then Razor across the front looks so fucking sick.
I've always loved Razor Ramon. He's so good. This match is relatively short. Razor gets Backlund with a small package, which really doesn't seem like the way it should have ended. We didn't get to see the Razor's Edge, man. I think.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't make much. It doesn't make much sense because, like, why would professional like grappler Bob Backlund get fooled with a wrestling move?
Right, exactly. It was just kind of a very
like,
strict.
He should have overpowered him.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. He's like, oh, you're a wrestler, Chino. Here's this. Bam. You know, like.
Yeah, I totally.
This match was just put together last minute. I mean, as we were watching Raw, they never advertised this match to be on
true.
Mania.
It's probably one of those throw-in matches or something.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a little bit under 4 minutes. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't. It was definitely a short match, and you know, I mean, it could have been one of those situations where they called it during the match and we're like, we have to go home with this match. And you know, so they did the small package. You never know. It'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, it just sucks not getting to see the Razor's Edge in a Razor Ramon match
at Mania. Exactly. So after that, Mean Gene is in the back with Money Incorporated. First thing that I noticed, I love the way the tag titles look. I love those old tag titles, man, compared to the new ones. Right?
They need to bring it back.
I also love DiBiase's white ring attire. I thought DiBiase, no pun intended, looked like $1 million with.
I was about to make that pun. I was about to say, I would say he looks like $1 million.
Exactly right. So
the gold Halliburton, the diamond studded dollar sign on the back.
It looks so good. Yeah, I love them during this. You know, DiBiase also, he's a great interview at all times, and so. He's always got a little bit extra juice when he's in Vegas because, you know, Vegas is a money city. So he's always got that ability to kind of, you know, speak to that when he's.
Did you know that the $1 million belt, all the diamonds on the front and all are all like a really nice, like sort of crystal, but on the back, there's a one diamond in there, and that's for him.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I had heard that from somewhere. I just don't remember where.
That's a nice looking belt too. I like that belt.
I know. I love it, dude. IRS mentions that Brutus has a protective face mask that he's going to be wearing tonight. He also mentions that Hogan got in a little accident coming out of the gym. So we got a little foreshadowing there. Now, he says that that's what happens when you mess with somebody who's got money. So, guys, this made me do a little bit of research. How did Hogan really get that shiner? So according to the Sports Rush, there are 3 different stories about this this Hogan shiner. Number one being that the actual official record says that it was a boating accident. The second theory is that what they said on WWE television, which is that Money Inc. hired somebody, of course, and that's kind of what they said during Mania.
Well, then that's obviously what really happened.
Exactly. But Jim Cornette says that this black eye came from Macho Man when he punched him in the eye after Elizabeth ran away to Hogan and Linda's house.
Oh, you know what? I did hear that. That was on Dark Side of the Ring, wasn't it?
I was about to say, yeah, it would correspond with what they were saying on Dark Side of the Ring, which, of course, is also Corny is involved in. So we have to take that
with a grain of salt.
With what it is, you know.
I have a fourth theory.
What's your fourth theory, dude?
That was Bret Hart when he learned that Hogan's gonna win the title.
Because we know he'll punch Vince. Man. Yeah.
But no, so real quick, pull up a video or something. I want you guys to look at how much fucking smaller Hogan is in '93.
Oh yeah.
He looks like
he's a little dude compared to what he used to be in the '80s.
A deflated fucking balloon, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. Like, I mean,
when the roid wore off.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, because this is probably right during the roid trial.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he was definitely
right before
at that point.
So I mean, everybody has to be clean except for like guys like the Steiner brothers who come in and don't sign contracts. They just,
handshake deal.
Yeah. So, man, he just looks so fucking small. It's incredible. Like still bigger than me, still looks great, still looks, good, but man, oh man, that like his arms don't look nearly, they're not the 19-inch or the 26
the 24-inch pythons. Yeah.
24 inch. Yeah. Now right now they look like 19 or 18 inches, which is still pretty impressive. But I mean, I'm fat and I've got that. So, I mean, I don't know.
Speaking of Hogan, we get this exact version of Hogan and Beefcake out with Jimmy Hart next for their matches. The Mega Maniacs take on Money Inc. for the WWF tag team titles. This is definitely different from what we are used to seeing out of the Hulkster at Mania. He's usually the focus, and he's usually in a singles match, of course. And as we learn later in the night, he'll still be the focus. But I digress. They begin brawling out of the gate. At one point, Money Incorporated try to walk away and lose by countout. But the Fink announces that the referee has said that if they get counted out, they're going to lose the belts this time. So they barely make it back in time for the 10 count. DiBiase does. Go ahead.
That's kind of crazy. That they can just make the rule up as they go. like Heenan was saying.
That's what Heenan was saying. Yeah.
Didn't Tatanka win by count out too, and they didn't give him the title?
That's a good point.
Yeah, because Shawn politicked that.
This whole main has been a mess of referees.
Mess of referees. It really was. So yeah, after they barely make it back in, DiBiase does get the better of Hulk Hogan after a bit with the $1 Million Dream. And at one point, Hogan almost hulks out of it. Luckily, the barber is there to make the save. He gets the hot tag for a while, and he's cleaning house on Money Incorporated until Ted DiBiase hits him in the back with a briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
After that, DiBiase comes back in and begins to try to remove the titanium protective mask, which he finally does get off of Beefcake. At that time, of course, Beefcake is uncovered, so he's in real trouble. He gets double teamed by Money Incorporated until he hits a good-looking double clothesline. I'm not the biggest Brutus the Barber, like as a wrestler person, but he did hit a good double clothesline there. Brudai, he puts IRS into a sleeper hold until DiBiase cracks him in the back and inadvertently knocks another fragile referee down. Speaking of ref issues, Hogan comes in and he hits Ted DiBiase with the big boot and then hits both of them with the titanium mask. Hogan and Beefcake cover both DiBiase and IRS while Jimmy Hart turns his jacket inside out to reveal
that bit.
The ref stripes, right? Because how would you have known ahead of time, or it just happens to be at the inside of that jacket?
I love that bit.
WWF logic.
Yeah, it's WWF logic.
I will say, I agree with some of what you said, Jeremiah. There is a certain charm to the fact that Beefcake has the same offense in every fucking match. And it's so, I mean, I know most wrestlers do, but Beefers is just so easily identifiable. The high knee, the atomic drop, the strutting and cutting, like it's
the bare minimum of maneuvers as well.
It's like the least amount of wrestling you can learn and still be considered a worker. And I fucking love it. Ted DiBiase, really great fucking heel. I don't like IRS as a singles performer, but as a tag team with,
I love Money.
He can work, and I like they're really good at cutting off a baby face and really controlling the ring. I think doing some really great heel shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
This match would have been good if not for the ending.
Yeah, so about the ending, Jimmy, he makes the 3 count and the Mega Maniacs grab the belts, right? So you think that they're the tag team champions.
Also, Hulk Hogan's a heel. I know I'm not saying anything new, but Hulk Hogan is a complete heel. He cheats and then he throws away the weapon so that the unconscious ref can't see. Piece of shit.
Yeah, not to mention the poke in the eye during the match. So anyway, Jimmy Hart, he makes the 3 count. The Mega Maniacs grab the belts. Another ref comes out yet again and reverses the decision, saying Hogan was disqualified for hitting Money Inc. with the mask. So Jimmy Hart throws the snitch referee out of the ring, and the faces, they strut around the ring. After a while, they steal IRS's briefcase and they open it. Inside, they find a brick and a big old chunk of money. Apparently, I love Hogan's response of getting horny over it.
He was like humping the air with it.
Yeah, he starts humping the air. And I do actually think it was real money because he's giving it out to the crowd. So That was kind of cool.
Yeah, not shown Ted DiBiase coming behind, being like, "Give me my money back. Give me my money back."
Dude, and it was also hilarious knowing that Savage may have been the one that punched Hogan when Jim Ross said somebody really did a number on him. So
that would be awesome to. I kind of hope that's the case.
I hope so too. So back out to Todd Piningale, and he's got Natalie Cole and Dan Reichardt. I think I'm saying that right. The CEO of Caesar's Palace. I was kind of thrown off by how like hard this dude like was putting over WWF. He was like seemed genuinely like happy. I guess the turnout, the crowd was really good, but he was like really going on about how great the WWF was.
It put eyeball on his casinos and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I was going to say, when was the last time people were talking about Caesar's Palace?
So after Todd is out there with the CEO guy, by the way, we go to Mean Gene Okerlund, and he's backstage with Mr. Perfect. And Gene mentions that Lex earlier again knocked out Bret Hart. Lex Luger versus Mr. Perfect is next. So let's go over the highlights of this match. Perfect out wrestles Luger in this match. No big surprise there.
Yeah.
He works on Luger's leg a whole bunch. Mr. Perfect throws some vicious chops in this match, by the way. Macho Man.
The highlights were the girls that came out with Lex.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But so Luger tries to get the dirty pin on Luger at one point, but the ref catches it this one time. Luger hits a nice power slam on Mr. Perfect at one point. I do want to point out as well, Mr. Perfect sunset flip. Very beautiful.
Oh God, Kurt Hennig is legitimate. I'm not saying anything fucking new, but Kurt Hennig is legitimately one of the most talented wrestlers of all time. It is an art watching him work. Watching him work is like watching somebody do art. It is like watching a ballet dancer or anything like that. It is, and just the fact that he's able to make a guy like Lex Luger, who
I was gonna say,
not the greatest worker.
Dead weight.
Yeah, like fucking A, man. Like so good, so good.
Yeah, because Perfect kept hitting Luger with neck breakers, top rope drop kicks, and Luger kicks out of these. And all Luger had to do is kick out. You know what I'm saying? Like Perfect did all the work with the neck breakers, hitting them with these drop kicks. Yeah. This match, it ends with when Luger gets the pin with a slide. The ref does not
dumb-faced Luger.
Yeah, the ref actually does not see that Perfect's feet were both on the ropes this time, right? To add insult to injury, Luger hits Mr. Perfect in the back of the head with the bionic elbow after the match. Afterwards, we get Perfect waking up, chasing Luger outside where Luger is hanging out with Shawn Michaels. Of course, Mr. Perfect is furious and he attacks Luger, but Michaels gets involved, starts super kicking him. Dude, did you see him take that freaking trash can to the face?
Yeah, dude.
That looked horrible. It looked like
Shawn Michaels should only wrestle in jeans and cowboy boots from now on. That is a fucking look, my guy. That
like some Texas Stampede stuff.
Look, he looked kind of like a fucking Walker Texas Ranger in that shit. I don't know why. I thought he looked cool. I don't know.
Where was his shirt?
It's fucking Las Vegas, Nevada. It's like hot as it's probably like a fucking million degrees.
He's like as naked as he can be.
Well, he wants to wear jeans because jeans.
Right.
So back to the announce team now, and Macho Man stands up to threaten Bobby Heenan, who's laughing about what Lex Luger just did. Jim Ross has to keep them separated at this point, and then they cut back to Gorilla Monsoon. Now, Gorilla, he's standing next to some Roman soldiers, and he lets us know what's coming up. We still got Undertaker versus Giant Gonzales to go, and Bret Hart versus Yokozuna. So after that, we go to the match, Giant Gonzales with Harvey Whippleman and Undertaker with Paul Bearer. So first of all, his entrance with the black chariot and the vulture, really
so cool.
And
those muscular ass dudes too, man. What the fuck? Way to go, dudes.
I know. Why are they not wrestling?
Well, those were the world bodybuilding, the UWBF.
WBF guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as the match goes, Gonzalez and Taker stare each other down before trading shots at each other. Taker has to get on the second rope to even reach Gonzalez to be able to choke slam him. Not sure why Gonzalez wasn't disqualified for the low blow that he did blatantly in front of him to Taker. But afterwards, Taker still gets his ring walk in. A little bit later, Gonzalez tosses Taker around for a bit, tosses him outside the ring, rams Taker into the ring steps on the outside. So the story is really Gonzalez kind of dominating at first, but luckily after that, Paul Bearer steps in with the urn to give Undertaker his superpower and additional hit points, right? So Taker, he gets the upper hand after this. At one point, Taker tosses Harvey Whippleman. At the same time, Gonzalez is headbutting Paul Bearer. And right after this, Gonzalez does the unthinkable. He produces a cloth and covers Taker's face with it. At this time, the announce team begins to sell that there's a weird smell, and they begin talking about chloroform. So basically,
the old ether gimmick.
Yeah, Giant Gonzales is roofing folks, basically. So a bunch of refs come out to attend Taker, who's completely passed out.
Refs? Where were the cops?
They bring the gurney out. Gonzalez is choke slamming referees all over the place, and they pull Taker on the stretcher and they roll him out. Gonzalez is posing for the crowd, and you think everything's all over, but actually Taker comes back out and starts rocking Gonzalez off his feet with a series of strikes and a flying clothesline that looks pretty nasty. So of course we know that the match is complete trash, but I still think it was completely fun. Like for it to be universally like put down as one of the worst matches of Undertaker's career, that's true. But also, like in my opinion, it was still hilarious and it was still like entertaining as hell. What are your thoughts? I know songs can be like, I hated it.
If they're wrestling, if it's a comedy match, yeah, that's hilarious. But they were trying to be serious, so it was bad. Complete and utter garbage.
You can't put Giant Gonzalez in that outfit in front of people and ask them to take it seriously.
Right.
That outfit is $1 million, man.
Like it is like he looks like a moron.
It's like Robert Wadlow didn't shave and just put on the bodysuit.
Like legitimately, like I'm not hating on people who are just tall. I get it. But like you can't just be tall. Like you have to be muscular. If you are not muscular, then no one will buy you.
Right.
And like that's why he had to wear a fucking bodysuit. Like, look, this is a body game. I'm not hating. Like I look or just don't make your gimmick that you're the big fucking strong giant. You're just maybe a big giant.
But why couldn't they have done something can you imagine if they did that to a Moss now? Like why couldn't they have put Giant Gonzalez in like a pants and a tank top and a big ass jacket? Right. You know,
that would have been sick.
Why does he have to be Yeti? You know, like that doesn't make any sense. Anyway,
put him in cowboy boots and jeans, and he would look incredible. Is all I'm saying.
As far as nostalgia goes, I still loved watching it. Mean Gene is in the back, and he cuts to video of Yokozuna's bonsai drop attacks on Hacksaw Jim Duggan. After that, we go back to Mean Gene again, and he says he was on hand for the Yokozuna versus Bret contract signing, which they cut to that as well, and it's just more of the same. Yokozuna hitting the bonsai drop on Bret Hart this time. And then, of course, for some weird reason, we'll realize later, Mean Gene begins interviewing Hulk Hogan. And Gene asks, what happened to that eye? Hogan at this point says he just left the WWE champ Bret Hart's dressing room and wants to let him know that all the holsters are in his corner. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, waiting to steal his belt.
Yeah.
But Hogan says that he was leaving the weight room in Vegas and someone took it out on him. He then goes back and reiterates again that he's in Bret Hart's corner, but he looks into the hitman's eyes and questions his own greatness. He then says he wants to issue a challenge to the winner of the match, either Bret or I'm not even going to say how he referred to Yokozuna, dude. Like that was just kind of tasteless.
Well, that's Hulk Hogan for you. Is what he does.
The amount of the J word getting thrown around, in general, is like super duper surprising.
It's really.
It was really the 90s. Surprising. Anything goes.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Like
but it goes back to what you said, Kyle. Hogan is a definite heel.
I feel like Hogan's a heel. I did love his like little flexing thing. That was always fun.
I mean, back in the 80s, dude, I was drinking that Kool-Aid for sure.
Oh yeah, no, Jeremiah walking around saying the J word.
No, I wasn't. No. Yeah, no, I wasn't drinking that Kool-Aid. I was drinking the 80s Hogan Kool-Aid, you asshole. That's hilarious, dude.
And then Sung said, "Oh yeah, all the kids were."
All the kids were. It's okay. I'm Asian. Awesome. I can say it.
That's hilarious. But yeah. So anyway, but yeah, that shit was. I was over it in the 90s, dude, because Bret Hart was my guy, and here was this dude stepping in to take the belt with his black eye and all. Anyway, Mean Gene, he cuts to Todd Piningale, who's in the crowd, and he tries to interview a kid with Prince Charles ears, and then a couple dudes who stole their togas from their hotel room. They drove in on a. They said the dudes that said they took their togas from their hotel room said that they drove in on a motorcycle in a sidecar, which I thought was hilarious. All right. Anyway, guys, time for the main event. Yokozuna versus Bret the Hitman Hart for the WWE Championship. So
I love real quick. Yokozuna's entrance. Yep, and the and Bret's fucking ring attire. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yes, and because I appreciate that.
It is the hot pink singlet with the white and the black with the white boots, like white spat looking boots, and then the leather jacket with the fringe fucking. Oh.
Yeah, best Bret Hart stuff. I love his ring gear, and I like how it kind of evolved over time. I was also a fan of the ring gear. I don't know if you remember it, that had like a little bit more black in it, and it had kind of like a splatter, the paint splatter, the pink.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I was also a fan of that one. But yeah, definitely both Yokozuna's gear and Bret Hart, just classic.
Like, isn't this like the Simpsons draws him, like if like they like I think this is the ring attire that the Simpsons put him in.
Drew him on.
I don't know.
You might be right.
Yeah.
So as far as this match goes, Bret comes out of the gate with a flurry of offense. Of course, he's drop kicking Yoko into the corner. He's peppering him with fist. Shortly after that, though, Yoko does toss the Hitman outside of the ring to kind of get some space from Hitman's offense. But this ends up kind of backfiring on Yokozuna because Bret Hart uses the ropes to tie up Yoko's legs and probably get him off of his feet really early in the match compared to anything you've really seen from Yoko in the past. It usually Yoko's matches were set up like to be like, okay, we can't get this guy off his feet. Like the matches he had with Savage or the matches he had with Hogan would have, Yoko on his feet the whole time, and he'd have to get hit with like everything before he fell off. And I thought it was really cool, the kind of story that they told there of how fast Bret used his kind of smarts to get
he was like a giant slayer.
Right, exactly, to get him off of his feet. So after he does this, he comes back in the ring and he's working really well offensively until he catches one of those Yoko lariats. Kyle, go ahead. You were mentioning.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, Bret's offense in this is so good. It's very classic Bret, but it's just crisp. And, like, for the first 5 minutes, Yoko he's not winded. He's not gassed yet. Mm-hmm. But, boys, that gas tank in very deep.
No, it's not. Not a big guy, but I think he did a good job for a guy his size to keep up with Bret.
Yeah, oh, Jesus. Yeah, absolutely. Like that. I mean, I thought for the first 5 minutes was really solid. Then we got into like the Magnum Claw work rest holds.
Yeah. This is what Yoko would do to slow down the pace.
Yeah, he slows the match down, and then it's fine, but I feel like and then you get the Bret's like comeback spot with the turnbuckle spot.
Right, exactly. So yeah, he basically pulls the padding off of one of the ring posts when Yoko's coming to pull him out of the corner, and this allows Bret to slam Yoko right into that post, like you're saying, and knock him right down and put him in the sharpshooter, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wasn't that one of the things they were talking about too? Is like, would Bret be able to do it because his legs are so fat?
Right. Yeah, that was kind of the question going in: is he going to be able to get the shooter on him? And he does, but he has to do it differently, which was kind of cool to watch as well.
Yeah, where he lifts his knee.
Yep, he doesn't ever have Yoko on his back. Yoko is on his front already from the bulldog that Bret applied. But this sharpshooter that he actually throws on Yoko ends up being his downfall, right? Because this allows Master Fuji to throw salt into the eyes of the hitman while the ref is not looking. Again, horrible refs at WrestleMania 9. Yoko pins my dude Bret for the WWF title. And it was not like a half a breath until you see a yellow streak hit the fucking ring.
Hot dogging and grandstanding.
Exactly. Fuji, like a moron, immediately challenges Hulk Hogan to a match after Yokozuna has just had a match with Bret Hart. That
made no sense
shit
at all.
Like, in what world would one, the audience want to see that? Two, like Yoko should have been like, no, motherfucker.
Yeah, Yoko should have been like, no, this is my title. Yeah, exactly. Let me at least like have a little bit of fun, right?
I need to go to a buffet or something.
Exactly. I get to replenish my fuel tank. So a little bit later, you see like Hogan and Bret outside, and you see like Bret, he's still got his eyeballs covered. And I like to think that Bret is pointing at the dressing room, be like, "Get the fuck out of here, Hogan! Go back to the dressing room." But the story is that he's telling Hogan, "Yeah, go for it. Let's get Yokozuna back because we're all on the same team," which is just totally lame. And you know that Bret Hart hates Hogan. But Hogan goes into the ring.
Hated this.
Yoko holds Hogan as Mr. Fuji goes to season Hogan with some salt. He accidentally seasons Yokozuna instead. And of course, 3 or 4 seconds later, we've got Hogan covering Yoko and standing to end the show. Jesus Christ, guys, how did you feel about this?
So bad.
How did you feel about this as a kid, and how do you feel about it now?
As a kid,
the match
loved it.
itself with Bret Hart and Yokozuna, that was a fun little big guy versus the David versus Goliath match. I thought they told a good story, but the ending of the match kind of just ruined it for me, even though I knew it was coming.
This pay-per-view is legitimately like mostly good matches with all terrible endings.
Yeah. There was very, very, very bad endings to most of these matches.
And like most of the matches are like, I would say like B, C+ matches, which for this generation of WWE is good, like, right? Pretty good.
Right. I know that at least for the main event, I was a Bret fan at this time. I used to be a Hogan fan at that time, but I was not happy Bret lost. I can't remember how I felt about Hogan winning. I might have been happy Hogan won instead of Yoko, but I was still sad that Bret lost. I was kind of surprised to see how much the crowd was still into 90s Hogan at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They still seem to be legitimately like, yay, Hogan's back,
Well, right. I think that this is, the right crowd, right? Like you're not going to pay Palace for WrestleMania tickets if you're not somewhat of a Hulk mark. Like, no offense, but like as a Hulk mark at that time, like you're going to see Hogan. You're not going to maybe there were like a 10th or a third, maybe even of their people to see Bret and stuff like that. But like the varnish, the has not worn off yet.
Hogan all the way.
Everybody's still, he's still pretty shiny as far as people, I think.
Yeah, very interesting though, man. I guess what a sad ending to a Mania. But I will say still, kind of like we were talking about earlier, I know Song, you don't have a very high opinion of the show, and we'll let you kind of sum it up here in a second. I thought I would be way more like you're feeling about it, but it still was super fun to watch for me and still super nostalgic. The match quality wasn't the highlight, like you were saying, Kyle, but it was serviceable. It was the campiness of it that did it for me, I think, and and kind of things like not realizing it was Jim Ross's first time was kind of like, oh yeah, shit, that's awesome. So watching it again for those reasons was still fun for me, even though it probably in a bubble it's not the greatest of Manias, but in a bubble, in my nostalgia bubble, it was a pretty good show. I'll say that.
I mean, I was genuinely surprised at the match quality that I found with this show. It was better than I remembered being the last time I watched it, which was, I think, to like make fun of it and talk shit on it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in a mood of like
this is good and nostalgic. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're like for 90s wrestling, some of those were good matches.
Mm-hmm. Mine was Steiner. I think Steiner's versus Headshrinkers was my match of the night.
Oh, absolutely. That was great. I really enjoyed it, besides the ending, the majority of the Bret Yoko match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought that Lex versus Mr. Perfect wasn't terrible until the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that Tatanka and Shawn, surprisingly good match.
Mm-hmm.
If it weren't for the endings, this would be like, for me, upper show. Good nostalgia, great set. Just a bunch of really good stuff. Yeah, I really thought it was, aside from every match's ending, which is like a good
like 2/3
40% of match quality depends on the ending. So if the ending's bad, then if the ending is 0, then that doesn't, it makes it just a possible 60% match. And in general, I would say that's kind of what all those matches suffered from, was just bad booking endings.
Right. Well, like I told you guys, I had a tough time finishing this one. It was a tough watch for me. A lot of it just has to do with the overbooking that I brought up earlier. All the extra referees, just like endings that don't feel complete. I did like Shawn and Tatanka match overall. That was my favorite match of the night. The rest was just, perfect is perfect. He's always going to put it on the show, and to carry a dead weight like Lex Luger to a decent match was fun to see.
I guess I would say that, of course, I mentioned earlier, Steiners versus Shrinkers was probably my match of the night. I just like the tag team psychology, and I liked how some of the moves came off rough, like they didn't go perfect. I like it when that happens in a match. I'm a fan of that. Also, I think seeing Doink do his thing, I think he was super into it on this particular night, just even like his facial expressions. And then incredibly enough, I would say that a highlight was Taker versus Gonzalez, just for the spectacle and car wreck that was that match. It was actually funny to me. I enjoyed watching it. So thanks for your opinion, guys. We're about to hop off for the night. I do want to leave you with a little funny question that we won't do like a Kyle's question since we've had such a long show. So I just want to throw something out there for you guys to just chew on, or do whatever with, that Pooey and I were actually talking about earlier. And she brought up a very funny thing. And so I wanted to ask, she asked, which came first, the Macho Man or the Kool-Aid Man? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny you brought that up, because while I was watching it, Abigail was on her VR headset, and all she heard was, ooh, yeah. It's like, there's a Kool-Aid commercial.
Did she really say that?
Yeah.
That's
hilarious.
She did. So I wonder which came first. Let's see. When do you think the Kool-Aid Man was established?
I mean, probably around the 70s when he came up with
thinking.
The character of Macho Man.
Which came first, dude? Is this as classic as the chicken or the egg?
Did Randy Poffo talk like that?
I don't know.
Like, when he's not in character as the I can't do the fucking Macho Man at all. But like when he's in character as the Macho Man, like, is that how he, like, in that in terms of like,
I heard,
what I'm talking about, like, hi, I'm Kyle Talley versus like, hey guys, it's me, Captain. Right. Like it's. I don't know.
I've heard that Macho a lot of time. I mean, if you like watched the Dark Side of the Ring stuff, I think they've spoken to it on there that he was kind of lived his gimmick. Is
well, because like you listen to his brother talk, because his brother is the genius of Glory and Renown.
The genius, Lanny Poffo.
And he talks like a normal person, albeit like a crazy person. But like it's just, I don't know. I've never met a person who talks, with that kind of raspy, hey, Jack, what's going on there? Hey, partner. I don't know. But that also is like a Carney thing. So maybe,
I don't even know where you get that from. It's like, when did he wake up and was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to start talking like this. Dig it. Very, very strange stuff. But yeah, I actually am going to look this up and try to get the answer to this because now I'm curious.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, actually, I think it's got to be. Never mind. I think we just solved it.
What is it? It's Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah. First appearance 1954.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do here on Pin the Champ, man. We not only answer
these kind of questions.
We not only answer questions about wrestling, but we answer questions about life and things that you need.
Well, that's kind of my background is pop culture.
And drinking the Kool-Aid.
So anyway, guys, I just wanted to leave you that funny little thought that we talked about earlier in the day, but appreciate you guys getting together with me and talking WrestleMania 9. And we appreciate our listeners for tuning in as well. Hopefully, oh man, I just remembered that I think this is the first time that I've ever forgotten to say during the beginning of our show to go watch the episode. But yeah, I'll just say it at the end of the show this time. If you haven't already seen Mania 9, it goes really well with this podcast since that's what we're talking about. So, go have a listen or have a watch if you haven't already, and let us know what your thoughts are. What were your favorite matches? What were your opinions of this Mania 9? Do you think it was the worst ever, like the internet generally says?
Or do you agree with me and think that mostly good matches that ended badly?
Exactly. It's been a fun time today talking about WrestleMania 9 with you guys.
Peace.
As always, thank you so much for listening. Now we want to hear from you. You can hit us up at pinthechamppodcast@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at pinthechamp123, and our Google Voice number is 804-446-1139. We can't wait to hear from you.